time for a little Thursday night in. Get ready with me, sesh. Grab a cup of whatever you're feeling drinking. I haven't had any water today. I need to have way more water. So I'm going to try some new makeup. I'm going to talk to you about it. And we're just going to. I just washed my hair and blow dried. And whenever I do that, my face gets really hot. Anyway, I'm going to have a review for the Solara Fortune Teller. The full scorecard's going to go live. This is the brightening sunscreen serum. I've been enjoying this. It's just very expensive. I don't know if I would keep leaning on it because I have so many other glowy options that I like. And I want to also keep testing more, but I'm also kind of warped. So I might not be the perfect customer for it, possibly. One of the options is from Frey Skincare. This is new to me. I mean, they sent it a while ago. This is Glow Me Lightweight Tinted Moisturizer, Broad Spectrum SPF 30, 100% mineral, and you're supposed to shake it real well. I'm going to deep dive into all of the ingredients on this as well. This is a glass container. So I'm using light media, and I'm just going to use this as a base. I'm going to put a little bit of, I know I haven't been using foundation, but my face was really kind of red yesterday. So this is a very silky product too, and it soaks right in. For an SPF, these are things that I really like. You know, you don't want something that's heavy. You don't want something that looks oily or super matte. I guess I don't want a super matte option, although matte would be kind of nice. I never see that out there. But I don't want it to stick around too much. Just started that about a day ago, and so far so good. And I'm hoping that doesn't have anything to do with why my face was red the other day. But I have the Tubes & Co. foundation. I'm just going to do a light layer to even things out a little bit for me because I can see it. Drives me nuts. There were just a couple of questions this week. One was about my hair. Today it's not looking the greatest, but you were saying you were wondering what I was using on my hair. So many things. I had just colored it and I used the Madison Reed color. It's not perfect. It's not like super duper clean, but it's better. It's something I've been using for a really long time. And yeah, I'm always looking for something else. Like I'm always wanting an alternative to that, but I've yet to find something. But whatever I color my hair, it always looks really good. And it's actually very fine hair. I just happen to have a lot of it. When I'm sick, when I'm not sleeping really well, I've actually been sleeping. Thank goodness. Knock on wood, but it shows up on my hair, on my face, on my skin, you know, all the rest of it. But I have been using just some products that I've always used. I did bring the Maya Chia shampoo conditioner in to try it out. I noticed a little bit more fallout. I don't know if I can say it's because of that, but for me, it's less about the shampoo and conditioner as long as it's not irritating. For me, it's really about the tools. Dyson hair dryer with a curly brush. I've used the T3 single pass curling iron. Those two things are my go-to tools for my hair. And sometimes when I need a heat protectant, I've yet to find a good heat protectant in the cleaner space. So I've never claimed to be perfectly clean, right? I think back in the day when I first started the channel, I was like, I'm on a mission to go 100% clean beauty, clean haircut, clean, clean, clean. That was before I realized like there's no regulation behind that term. Clean doesn't always mean that it's not going to harm you. Everything that I put on my face, by the way, will be linked below. It's something from Oribe, and I don't recommend it for people with sensitive skin because it broke a couple of my friends out. It's broken people out, but it's their heat styling. I use that every now and then. It prevents things from looking too frizzy, too fried. But yeah, it was the Maya Chia shampoo and conditioner, and then I'm moving over to, I think I'm going to try Roz next. So I'm excited to try some of that Roz product that was sent over to me. I'm very curious about how that performs. The little spot stick. I had one of my really close friends in town, and she came up to the studio, and we just had studio time, and I just gave her a makeover. It was so fun. It was so fun. She's sort of the opposite of my coloring. So she's blonde haired, super fair, beautiful blue eyes, beautiful human being. But she's just kind of which one was Veronica and which one was Betty? I think she's the Betty to my Veronica, right? Because Veronica had the dark hair, I think. So I was putting all this stuff on her. She's a young mom of two teenage girls, which I'm like, what is happening? Time is flying. But she was like, I cannot do concealer. I gave up. I gave up on concealer. I can never put it on. I can never make it so it doesn't crease. And I was like, wait a minute, because she has oily lids. Anyway, I recommended the Jillian Dempsey for her, and she was freaking out. And normally I don't have to set this as much, but I will for my fingers. But I used the RMS unpowder on her. And I was like, use a silica powder. You know, sometimes I'm so close to the makeup. I'm so close to having this every day. And sometimes I forget the position that I'm in. I forget that it's like a freaking Sephora. I forget how lucky I am that I get to just have her here in my chair. And then I just get to play with makeup on her face. And I knew stuff. And I kind of forgot that I learned all this stuff. I don't know. You know me, I've never wanted to be a makeup guru. I really don't see myself as a makeup guru. I really, truly, I don't know if anybody would ever classify me as that. When I was using the product on her, I was like, application and brushes, they just change everything. And it's kind of like you know it and you hear it, but it can be intimidating. And this combination of eyeshadow brush and this spot stick, really any cream concealer would do. You just got to swirl it and buff it in. And wow, she was freaking out. It was like the most gratifying experience ever. Eyeliner from Jillian Dempsey. This has been all over social media lately. I believe this is in a brown, very creamy, easy to apply. Not as creamy as, say, like the Victoria Beckham, not as forgiving. It's more opacity, but you might really like that. I really like this. And then it has this interesting smudgy. I haven't researched that enough. I don't really know. I don't know. It's like a hard smudge. I don't think you have to research it, really. You just have to use it. That's my research. Anyway, I wanted to get this out into some of my videos because I've been using it a lot lately. It's lasting. I haven't done a full wear test on it, but far so good. I forgot that I had the Mob Beauty Cream Shadow in another shade. This is shade 115. I really like the Mob Beauty Cream Shadows. If you haven't tried them, definitely take a look. Something that I didn't do earlier was buff it onto my hand before I applied, and it was just a lot. It was a lot of product. So like a light touch will do. If you don't want it to, if you want more control over it, just apply it there. And you really don't even need a brush, honestly. You can just use your fingers. I'm just going to use a brush. It's just basic, easy, everyday. Don't even have to think about it kind of color, which is my kind of color. The other question was about fragrance. Tower 28. Bringing it back, girl. Bringing it back. This is in the brown. It's still pretty strong as this. There's so many strong mascaras now. I just reviewed the Kosas one. That was a strong option. I think the side by side is where I learned the most on what wins. Do you know what I mean? So if I have a side by side on application, but also by the end of the day, really it comes down to the wear test and whether or not it irritates. But mascara is just so different for different lashes. People have such different experiences. So you never really know. But the reason this isn't always a favorite of mine, it is a favorite of lots of people's, is because it irritates my contact lenses a little bit. And I noticed it after I thought, oh, it's because I'm wearing my dailies for more than a day. No, it was because of the mascara. And it took me a while to put those two together. I'm not going to say it's going to irritate you, but yeah, I was like, and it doesn't wear as well for me. And I don't know why, because people have very different experiences. This is the Tower 28. I have the Sculptino in the lighter shade. I think it's called Broad. I really like that. It's a cool shade. These are still great. The balms and the Sculptino creamy little contours. I do not use it as a contour. This has more warmth to it. They do eliminate things like mirrors from the packaging, which I like, but you know, it's in plastic, so I'm not always loving that. However, this is a brand and it is worth noting that hasn't just hiked up their prices. Cheers to them. Thank you to Tower 28. Now, I don't know how long that's going to last with everything going on in the States, but I'll take it and I appreciate it. I really do, because I can't tell you how often I go back in, especially now that I'm trying to update my knowledge base for the bot. I go back in maybe a couple of months later and prices are already up by $5, $6, $7. Crazy. So I have this House Labs bronzer. I really do like it. I'm not in love with the ingredients though. So kind of reminds me of the Jones Road in the sense that it's very forgiving. I think the payoff here is a little bit better, but I just felt like a little bit more soft matte bronze today. as one does. The other question was about fragrance, asking if I have a fragrance that I like. I do have some options behind me over there. No, over there. And they're from 5 cents or something like that. I've tried a lot. They've sent a lot. Merit sent me their fragrance. And I am really particular about fragrance. I do not like a strong fragrance. For me, light, fresh, anything with like a warm vanilla is the other side of that. So light, fresh, maybe a citrus or neroli I really like. But on the flip side of that, I love a warm vanilla. So I really have no good recommendations for fragrance for you is what I'm trying to say. These little milk things, these little sticks, freaking love. I hate that they're in plastic, but they're really fun. And I really didn't think that they would melt in nicely, but they melt in very nicely. Gotta say, I kept thinking that this was going to be like a true bright stain. This is in shade Fizz, and I like it on the lip as a base. Actually, I would just wear that and like a balm on top. Otherwise, just been testing some new products. I have the Swede Lash Serum review. That's going to be up. I think that's going up on Sunday. This is from Rose Inc. I know. Where have they been? I don't know. But this is a matte lip cream. The shade is Of Stars, and this is gorgeous. It's like a pinky. Oh my god, it's so nice. Gotta be real careful with the doe foot. It's just such a pretty color. This one makes me very happy, I gotta say. This was a surprise. And it's totally weightless. It's almost silky like the Westman, but of course very different because it's a doe foot and not a lipstick. However, it applies like that, and then it's really lightweight. I just haven't done any wear tests on it, but I really like this color, and I feel like I'm going to be wearing it on heavy rotation as long as it doesn't feel too drying. I use these all the time. All the time. Jones Road. So I have that review. I've been doing this LED mask from Current Body. I've been checking that out a little bit. I now do that. I'm getting better at my 30-day reviews. I do that and I stand on my power plate, my vibration plate. I'm learning so much about how shaking like that is really good to, for a number of reasons. Lymphatic drainage. They're all over TikTok, and like people are saying tons of BS, I'm sure, about that. However, when I was looking into them, they're pretty cool. They claim to help with everything. But I'm trying it more for an energetic kind of release. I'm trying to make sure that I'm still processing emotions through all the stuff that's been going on. Now I thought we're together, because what I was doing is at the end of the day, when I'm watching my TV, I will turn the power plate on and just stand on it for 15 minutes. And I'm like, wait, I keep forgetting to do this LED mask. Now I'm standing on a power plate with my red light mask on for 15 minutes at night. And I got to tell you, it's helped me stay so much more consistent. I've also been walking 10,000 steps. I know that's an arbitrary number, but I've been trying to get my step count up for a while. I mean, for years. And I haven't remained consistent until the last month. And I've seen so many changes. So I'm thinking of actually pulling together a scorecard for that. I think that would be interesting. The power plate, the LED mask for sure. I want to have another one to compare it to. Longer reviews I think are really interesting to me. The lifestyle reviews are interesting to me. This is interesting to me. You let me know what you're up to in your world. Is there anything that you're testing and trying out? Anything that you're really curious about? Thank you for asking the questions. Thank you for sitting down with me tonight and just playing with makeup. I, again, will have links to everything that I mentioned below. If there's a scorecard, I will give it to you. As always, I'm wishing you all the best for the rest of your night, day, whenever you're watching it, and just sending love your way. Thanks for being here again. Talk soon. Bye.